Thank you for joining me today. How is everyone? Yeah,
Very
good,
cheers, mate. Very good.
Buzzing for seeing you, Euan.
So firstly, can you just tell the people at home what your role is at the club, Adam?
You name it.
Head of recruitment.
Anything, mate. Anything that anyone wants me to do, no problem.
Makes my life hell and very busy. I can let people know that.
Yeah, I'll give you a bit of a hard time, then I'll live on the players front.
Yeah, you're relentless with me, mate. But that's we'll give the insight to people on that. It's every day we have to talk, but it's all good. Keeps us busy.
Yeah, you name it, really. Euan, like obviously, a lot of players and organising pre-season and pre-match. You name it, really. I'll do whatever I'm asked.
Adam and Jack, how happy are you for the club to have the opportunity to play at Wembley?
What's that, sorry?
How happy are you for that opportunity to play at Wembley?
That's Dobby or me?
Oh, you answer that one.
Yeah, it's a massive opportunity, isn't it? It's right to talk about it, yeah. No? Yeah. Obviously, the opportunity last year, obviously getting to the semi-finals was just a dream come true, and obviously I didn't end up playing in the semis just due to going over to Woolstone. But yeah, the club's been unreal, to be fair.
Yeah, I think it's if whatever level of football you're involved at, from Premier League down to non-league, it's the pinnacle, isn't it? I don't think there's anything better than playing at Wembley. Just can't wait now. It's sort of I was excited for the month prep and stuff like that, but now and just have them great memories for the rest of our lives. Can't wait. Really excited about it.
Following beating Leamington in such a thrilling game, was it going to be hard to top that against Royston?
Yeah, that Leamington game had everything, didn't it? That was probably our hardest tie, I reckon. They're probably the best team we played, weren't they? They had a bit of everything, didn't they? They were a big, strong team, but they were a decent side, weren't they? Although, to be fair, we should have been 3-0 up in half an hour. But I think people underestimated Royston were. I think they'd lost 1 in 24 when we played them. And massive scalps along the way. So we certainly didn't underestimate Royston at all. We knew that was going to be a real tough game, especially with the teams that beat them, and it proved that on the night that they were a real good unit, and they would have got promoted out of that Southern Prem, and they probably, to be honest, they probably would have finished in the top 10 in that National North Division. So that was don't underestimate how good they were.
Definitely.
Obviously, they had a bigger budget as well, Drew, but obviously a lot of people won't realise that obviously we are restricted with what we can do as a club. We're a small club, but they had a much higher wage bill than us. They had players that moved on to this level anyway. I say they're very similar in the way they played to Leamington, wouldn't they? I think if you compared Leamington to Royston, that would have been a very, very, very even game.
Very, very similar. Yeah, and I think
in the similar styles as well. Yeah.
I actually think because that game was just part of the journey, wasn't it? That like the game got called off at home, didn't it, on the day? And
yes.
I'll be honest. When I got there, what I was like, Lou. I wanted the game off because the pitch was absolutely waterlogged. We tried everything to get it on, but actually, it suited them more than it would have done us. Like especially the way we were starting to play with Taylor and Scotty I and Blanche. They were at probably that we based that team around in the end. Our midfield, they were good, weren't they? I actually think it did us a favour that game being pulled off because on the Tuesday night it dried out. And if you look at both our goals, they came from great runs from our midfield. Well, Scotty I, didn't they?
Yeah, it added to the occasion as well, didn't it? Obviously, we had earlier in the journey, we had the thing going with Bath, didn't we? And we know how much that fired us up. Obviously, Jack, I know you spoke about it before that Bath game. When we went back there, we had the fire in our belly because of what they'd done to us. It sort of added a bit of fire to the game as well, didn't it? Because I think they felt very aggrieved as a club that we let them get there. He got called off, blah, blah, blah. But obviously, like you say, Drew, we done everything possible. I was out there at 8 o'clock with a bow dryer. Ant was there at half.
You was all out there, weren't you? There was a load of you. Even the chairman, I think the chairman was on there, Gaffer was on there.
Yeah, so like I say, Ant was there at 6 in the morning. He had Scopes when he got there at 11, got on the bow dry. We all tried everything. You know?
I think, obviously, personally, we knew the big lad. What was his name? Remember the big lad?
Murray.
We knew he weren't playing, so I think everyone knew he was a handful, and I think everyone knew he wasn't there. So I think we kind of all wanted it on because he was their biggest threat, really. I think he played on the Tuesday, didn't he? And he was a big handful. But it was one of them. It was never going to be playable.
No, it did us a favour, and like you say, he was available in the second game on the Tuesday night, wasn't he? So that was a bit of a concern because he's a real good player. But I remember there was a moment, and I think I've got a picture on my computer. Jack wins a header against him, sort of in the first 20 minutes. Like Jack overpowers him really, and I thought that sort of set the tone for the game.
That I know what one you're on about, Drew. Well, it might have been that one. There's one I remember this, it sort of summed up the way we were and how up for the game we were. They had kickoff. They've passed it back and lumped it forward, and I've never seen someone header a ball like Jack. In that first 5 seconds, he jumped up 10 miles.
He went over the bar.
Yeah, he did. But you could just tell that the way that you could tell pre-game there was something buzzing about the club, the change, like the players and that. And that first ball they put up, it was dealt with authority, and you just knew that we're in here. This is our game. This is our moment.
I think everyone, just the before the game, everyone's pumped up anyway. Obviously the game was massive, didn't it? We're 2 games away from Wembley, a massive scenario. Like Gaffer was getting us absolutely pumped up. So it was one of them. It stemmed from everyone in the changing room coming out. I think everyone was focused. Anyone really talk until 10 minutes before the game. Everyone was just so focused. No one was really making jokes or anything like that. Everyone from 1 to 15, 16 was absolutely on it. But we
played that video, didn't we? We played a video at the Concord. Yeah. Just before kickoff, we played. Every time we went out before, we played All I Do Is Win, and I think was it Waggy? He put a video compilation of all of our goals with that music on. Yeah, and that sort of was just like the icing on the cake, wasn't it? You just went out thinking we can do this, and I don't know about Dak, he probably is, but probably the biggest and best game I think I've ever been involved with. It just had everything that, it was packed house, wasn't it? The atmosphere was fantastic. Yeah. It had so much riding on the game. I think Dak said it sort of early doors about, I think he was the first founder of the trophy. Jack just threw this comment in that we should get to the final, lads. And I was thinking, I want a bit of what Jack's taking. But I said it early doors. You said it first, second game.
I said it. I think I said it after the comeback against Slough, and then I think we went to we go to Maidstone after that.
Maidstone, yeah.
Yeah, that's what you said to us in the summer, Jack. We spoke to you and Hagee, didn't we? Me and Chris in the summer, and we spoke about Wembley, and you said it then after Maidstone. Yeah, you were adamant. You said it's going to happen.
Yeah, I just think with the level we're at, I think if ever there's not a lot of difference between the levels, and with the team we had, I knew if we was focused and we done what we could do, we could get there, and it just showed, didn't it? It's not like we had an easy round. I know we didn't play anyone in the conference prem, but we still played tough teams like Bath, Slough were up there, Maidstone were up there. They're still big clubs.
All playoff teams, aren't they? All playoff teams. Even like you said, beat them all away as well, didn't we? Royston were a bloody good team as well, weren't they? Yeah,
Royston. Yeah, I think personally, to me, Royston were the best team we played. Toughest team we played. They had their team. They had 4 or 5 6'3" pluses. Every set piece they put in was above the keeper. It was so tough, and they had such a threat from every set piece, throw-ins, and free kicks. Everything was in the box, and it was tough to handle, but we managed to deal with it.
Yeah, no, it was and just everything about the game. It was just, I'll never forget that night. And I know we played the semi-final, and that was obviously that game got us to Wembley, but Royston was the best and biggest game I've been involved with. Like that emotion when the final whistle went after extra time, and the fans were running on, and you knew that you were one tie away from Wembley, and that was against the team. All right, they were decent, but step forward, you knew you'd done your job almost.
Touching on that, Drury, and this is more for Jack, to be fair. Obviously, with it being called off on the Saturday, we then knew who was going to have in the semi-final. Did it give you extra motivation? Not that you needed extra motivation, and obviously Hull was a good side in their own right because they're beat. But did it give you an extra buzz in your step, knowing you'd avoided not scouting Harrogate in the semi-final?
Yeah, I think. No, look, listen, no disrespect. I didn't play against them, but knowing you're going to be playing a team 3-4 leagues below, you fancy yourself, didn't you? That's not being big-headed or arrogant. That's just stating facts. Notts County are a massive, massive side, and Harrogate are a big, big side. And the fact that we knew if we won that game, we had a massive, massive opportunity to get into Wembley. It was massive, and I think that's what made. I think knowing that maybe pushed us just even that little bit further, because we knew if we can win this, we're almost halfway there, and it showed in the performances. It went to going to extra time, and the levels didn't even drop for me with the players. All for extra time, they were just unreal.
Yeah, I was going to say, obviously, I know from my point of view as a fan / committee member, knowing that we had Howes Owen in the semi-final, we'd avoided them. It just felt like our FA Trophy final.
Yeah, it was. 100%. And that's no disrespect to them. Listen, they beat a lot of. Yeah, they built a lot. They beat a lot of teams on the way. But I think a lot of teams would have had that mentality against them, going, "Oh, listen, they're a team that's 3-4 leagues below," and they would have had that arrogance. I knew with the team we would have never had that. We would have gone there having respect for them and knowing, listen, they're a good outfit. And I felt
we sort of said it like, obviously you don't want to say that to the players, but as a management team, we, believe me, we knew that was our semi-final, that Royston game. Because like as Jack said, and that's no disrespect to Howell, they've done really well and they had some real good players, but I think with the team that we had and the way we were playing, I think we'd have beaten them in both legs. So we knew that the Royston was that semi-final, and we knew how good they were. And Scopesy being Scopesy, his prep was spot on. I mean, we could have played Dakari from the start, but I don't know how he does it really. He's got this like sixth sense, and he just said to us, Dakari will come on and late on or in extra time and he'll get the winner, and he did.
Yeah, it was definitely a massive motivation. But like I say, I think what you said there, Jack, probably helps. That obviously we weren't going to disrespect Howes Owen like the other clubs potentially did, because half the squad, half of you come the season before from the same level they were at. So it's like you knew what you was going to be up against as well. So I think that's where the non-arrogance of playing Howes Owen was. But it is obviously going to give us a massive boost in our step with knowing that. I
think they were spending more money than us. We always went in, and we always will do. We're always going to go in as the underdog tag, because what Concord about it. We are, aren't we? Like majority of the games that we go into in the league, we are the underdog. So we quite like that tag, even against even against Howes Owen. Some big dough.
Yeah, definitely.
We had a few loan players in the team, including Scott Hyde, Ben Wells, Nathan Carlisle. What was it like having these players in and around the squad, not just in the game, but in general?
Yeah, it was massive. They're all great players. I think Nath come in as obviously as a centre half, but he played out at right back for the Royston game, and he was absolutely unbelievable. Like unreal. Like he's a hell of a player, and he was I think he was one of my man in the matches for that game, definitely, for the way he defended. And then that guy, I think, come on, didn't he? Maybe it was extra time or the second half. I think he ended up going Bolton or something like that.
Yeah, a couple of stop. He went full time. I can't remember.
He's gone full time, so he's gone pro, and he absolutely had him in his pocket. And then we had who else? We had
Taylor Maloney.
Yeah, we had Taylor. Taylor's obviously at Bromley.
that midfield was that midfield was decent, wasn't it? And in moves, we probably had one of the best players in the league as well, didn't we? Like every time that guy touched the ball, you thought, what's going to happen? Didn't you? Every time he got the ball, you just thought, what's he going to do?
Yeah, we had a lot of good players, and the carry goes unnoticed a little bit. But that goal he scored, if you watch his movement, it's so intelligent. You know, he knows the guy's not quick, so he drags him wide. He knows exactly where he wants the ball played, and he pulls him wide to come inside, and the guy can't get nowhere near him. Do you know what I mean? He follows him out wide, and then he comes inside, and I think Scotty slips in the ball with it, or
yeah, it was great pass, great tackle from Roasty, wasn't it?
Yeah, good. Yeah, Toasty, good tackle, mate. To be fair, and then start from there. But yeah, it was a great goal. The midfield were very good, all technically really good players, and especially Benny, like Wellesley and that. So yeah, great to have on amongst the team.
Yeah. Shock horror. There was another penalty in that game.
Yeah,
we'll touch on that in a minute.
We loved the pen, didn't we?
We'll touch on that in a minute. It's going to be a question. But yeah, I think as well, like what struck us as supporters as well about the Lone Boys, and this is compliment to you, Drury, and Scopesy, and the management team, and obviously you, Jack, as well for the players. That the way they all bought into it. Every single player we had last season, in that season on loan, bought into Concord Rangers Football Club. And they lived in. Scotty Hire was on the bench with Huddersfield a couple of weeks before that. He was buzzing when his first game back, wasn't it? He was absolutely buzzing after that game because of being part of it. And that
I
is
think
just
they don't realise though. They don't. Players that come from pro clubs. Listen, it's a great. Being a pro is unreal. 23 is unreal, but they don't understand what it's like to win. Do you know what I mean? Winning an under 23 game or winning the FA Trophy semi-final is different. Like me, Noobs, Roasty, Blanche, we're all going mad. They're kind of looking at us like we're weirdos, but it means so much to win because you know you're winning it for yourself. As a 23 man, you're an individual. You want to get somewhere as a player, but when you're down, like playing for Concord, you're winning it for everyone. You're winning it for the club. You're winning it for the fans. It is everyone buys into what you want to do. And I think that's why they come and they see it and they're just like, this is what I want to be part of. And they all buy into it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, totally agree. And like you said, no, they all bought into it. I mean, even Tom Clifford came back to watch some cup games as well, didn't he? And
exactly. Yeah, he wanted to be.
He was playing League One. You know, he could have quickly forgotten about Concord Rangers, but he didn't. And people also think that like Scotty I would have to drive 5 hours to play for us. Never moaned once.
Yeah.
He just rocked up after a 5-hour drive, just ran most of the games he played in. And it's no wonder he's sort of a great loan, didn't he, in League One? No shot. QPR said to us, he said, you've done more for Nathan and Wellesley in like 8 weeks than they've had in the last 10 years in the academy.
Because, doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. You know, they were playing for 3 points.
Yeah.
But they were also playing these massive cup games.
Just Scopesy drills into you that belief, though. He generally does. He makes you believe something that you don't think you generally don't think you can believe, and then he makes you buy into it. He generally does. It's like he brainwashes you to fucking to believe it. It is mad, and I think that's why a lot of the Lone Boys they come in and do so well because they've got so much belief from Scopesy, and they all buy into it. So
and then they all go back and do well with their other clubs.
Yeah.
A great learning for them, but also great for us because we're all good players. I mean, it's not luck on their personalities because we do a lot of due diligence on the boys. But they're all really good boys, and but it's a shame we can't have them on really because they thoroughly deserve involved. Well,
yeah, obviously you touched on it, Drew. You can have the best technically gifted players come from pro clubs. If they've got the wrong personality, that's where your due diligence comes in, and he's looking at the personality. But, if you're at 23, if you're a pro club in the 23s doing well, you should be a technically good player anyway, shouldn't you? Yeah. But yeah, the main homework, like you say, is personality, and that is everything for this football club, isn't it? Everything.
Yeah, well, Kip
Blanche is the only one that ain't got a personality, to be fair. He gets away with it though because he's special. But yeah.
He misses you, he does.
No, Blanchie.
High assisted new ball to put Concord ahead. What were your thoughts in that moment?
Oh, it's unbelievable, wasn't it? That literally, I think I went through every emotion like everyone that night. But obviously, we scored. A bit of a fluke, wasn't it? It was like a deflected goal.
Yeah.
But we were on top though. I thought first 15 minutes was like a proper one, a bit nervy, and where not a lot of football. And then I thought like we took a little bit of control after about 15, 20 minutes. Like, I think you had a free kick back about 25 yards out, just went wide. I think Blanche just put one wide from the cross. Then we got the goal, and then we conceded a penalty within about 40 seconds, didn't we?
It's straight from kickoff. Ball went back. They put it forward. It was penalty.
Yeah.
That Pollock, wasn't it?
Yeah, Pollock.
Bloody Pollock. So your emotion had gone from sort of through the roof, and in that split moment, it was like, oh, it was just gone, wasn't it? Until Hagee made Hagee's double save was outrageous, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a big moment. That obviously it's easy to say now, isn't it? But like you say, Drew, you went from high emotion of joy to you're on the floor within 30 seconds. We were. I remember standing behind the goal. We was all still laughing and chatting about the goal. We look up. We heard the ref whistle pointing to the spot, and you straight away just got the ground felt silent.
Yeah, because like I say, we were actually. I thought we were in control of the game after that sort of. Maybe not in control, maybe a bit too much, but yeah, we were playing quite well at the time, weren't we? And then we got the goal, and you just felt like we could nick another one here because we sort of were in the ascendancy. So to give that momentum to them straight away was. Then the emotion was through the roof again when Hagee made the double save, probably like Jack was.
Oh yeah, definitely. But they say you're most vulnerable when you score. You know, probably everyone was so buzzing about the goal. It's just just the standards dropped a little bit. Yeah, but as one of them, I think with the goal, I think he thought I was going to come through and win it, but it was in his area. So, yeah.
I think obviously that we had a little bit of a pattern, didn't we, of scoring and then conceding or giving up a key moment. Obviously, we had Bath, didn't we? We went 1-0 up at home to Bath. Next, from kick off, they scored.
Wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. We scored with 10 minutes to go, thinking, right, you're in here. We've done it. Yeah. A minute later, they've gone at the other end and scored. And you're thinking, great. And then obviously, say, bang on. We're always most vulnerable after you score. And we proved that a couple of times, actually, in the trophy.
We didn't want to win at home. We wanted to make it tough.
Makes the route to the final look much better, doesn't it? Beating Bath away.
You look back though, it's a hell of a run, isn't it? It's not like we've done it the easy way with that replays, come back from 2-0 down. It's mad, isn't it?
I don't think many teams would beat Slough away, Bath away, Maidstone away, would they?
No, and come back. Was it 3 times we come back in each game? Well, not each game, but obviously overall.
I think Bath. Obviously, we went behind in we didn't go behind against. Well, yeah, it was a Slough and Maidstone game. We went behind the whole time, didn't we?
Slough missed the pen, didn't they? 1-0.
Huh?
Slough missed the pen at 1-0 as well, didn't they?
Yeah,
over the bar.
Over the bar, yeah.
Well, they missed two penalties in the tie, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
They missed one at home, which obviously Jack give away, which I still don't agree with. I did touch on that when we done the Slough one, and then they missed one at. There's 2-1 up, weren't they? 2-1 up at their place. 5 minutes later, Greeny scored a pen, which
so
yeah.
That was never. I remember that was never a pen. It's hit me in the head, and he's given a handball. I don't know what happened. He give a handball to them. I was like,
there's 3 people in that ground on that night saw it as a pen. Baron Leach, Chris Search, and the referee. The only 3 who saw it.
Or when we were off our pen.
What's that?
What, for our pen?
Yeah, our pen in the Slough game.
Yeah,
it was a very strange one. But yeah, it was a big moment though. Going back to the Royston one, that Hagee save, and it obviously one of his quite a few key moments in our run, Hagee. But that was it got our emotion.
He was brilliant that night. He was brilliant that night. It's funny. I keep in contact with their coach from that game. Really, I talked to him quite a bit. Real nice fella, and like their whole sort of game plan was to attack our box. He just dealt with everything, didn't he? That night, he was mustard, wasn't he? Like he came for everything. He punched. Obviously, his shot stopping inability is never in question anyway, is it? But he had a real good game, didn't he?
Yeah, he does. He works his ass off, and he day in day out to get better. And I've always said he's one of the best keepers I've played with. So the things I see him do on the pitch never ever really surprises me.
It gives you a lot of confidence. Must give you a lot of confidence as well, Jack, playing in front of him.
100%. Like that's what I mean. A lot of my success come last year, and is due to the fact with him behind me. I had so much confidence and belief in what he said and what he was telling me to do and everything. And it does go unnoticed. He had my back a lot from last year, and that probably goes a little bit unnoticed as well. You know, he pulls off. So he put the amount of saves he pulls off, and it can happen at 3-0 up. So a lot of people don't see the saves he pulls off, or he pulled off weldies after weldies a lot of the time last season, didn't he? So and the penalties he saved were big penalties. He done it.
I think that works both ways as well, because he fully trusted Jack as well, didn't he? So if there was a ball that he wasn't going to come for, he knew Jack was going to win the header.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever known. People do talk about it a little bit, but it's quite important for a football team to have your two centre-halves and goalkeeper on the same wavelength. It is huge. Yeah. You know, confidence in each other gives you the confidence to be better, doesn't it? It really does.
Definitely.
Royston equalised in the 54th minute. Was it a sloppy goal to give away?
As the one they slipped. Yeah, I'm just trying to remember. As they slipped it, didn't they?
Luke Keeley did Bateman won the header, and then it sort of fell down to Luke Keeley left hand side.
It's from the goalkeeper, wasn't it? It's like I can't remember. It may have been a free kick. He punted it long. Of course they did. They won the flick on, and then
I think Bateman won the flick on.
Yeah, and Warner Ely took a touch and hit it, didn't he? It was just sort of like, oh, hang on, it's gone in. Didn't really realise.
From the left hand side of our box, yeah. No, listen, we knew they'd come out second half and they'd bombard us, and that's what they'd done. They literally bombarded us with long balls, with set pieces, and yeah, I think to concede that goal, it was kind of a bit gut wrenching, because we'd done a job in terms of defending set pieces and defending their biggest threat, and to concede that goal was a bit poor, but. You know, we dealt with it better, because after that they were even more set pieces. Everything was hung under the bar, so it was hard to defend. But we done well, and I think that they tired a lot, and we kind of knew straight away. Like I think about 10 minutes from time, we've got this. If this goes extra time, we've got this, because they're done. They were done in, and obviously we had the carry to come up top, and he's the last person you want to bring on when you're in tatters.
Yeah, I was going to touch on that.
I think what was quite a vital point in that game as well was he took Murray and Bateman off.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't have a clue why Bateman. Listen, but Bateman was all right, but I don't know why he took that Murray off. Unless he told him to come off, but I don't think they've done that. But yeah, how they took both of them off.
Yeah, and then they brought on. And to be honest, once they took them two off, I never thought they were going to score a goal.
The geezer they brought on, he was like 6'13" or something. He was still massive, wasn't he?
Yeah, Josh Short, Williamson or whatever his name is. Yeah, he's been around. I couldn't see him scoring after that. They didn't really pose us any threat once those two had gone off, did they? Really?
No.
That's what I was going to say. Obviously, you touched on it, Jack, a little bit just then, but they come out of the traps absolutely flying second half.
Yeah.
They absolutely bombarded us, and they scored that goal. And if I'm honest, it felt like it was going to come. It really did, the way they started the half. We rode the storm, as we've done a lot in the trophy run, to be fair. But yeah, they took the two players off, didn't they? Their gaffer thought it was the right thing to do, and brought this the winger is a winger as well, wasn't it? A quick winger that I think Tosin just finished him, didn't he? He didn't do anything. And like you say, you just bang on that you didn't feel under threat at all after that last 15, 20 minutes. I don't think they threatened our goal, did they?
No.
Of normal time.
We kept the ball well. I think, in them time when you're 1-0 and their big game plan is obviously to go long. I think when you get the ball, you have to try and keep it. So it's a massive credit to our midfield, because when we got the ball, we kept it well. You know, we distributed the ball out to Noobs very well, and by the likes of Blanche and Roasty, they kept the ball well, and they done the dirty work, which was good. So.
When it went to extra time, how did the team feeling? What was said?
We knew we were going to win, I think. I don't mean that blasé, but I think back on it earlier. I think we knew we were going to win, didn't we? I think Scopesy just said, "I'm going to bring." I can't remember when Dipari came on, to be honest, because it's so long back. 5 years ago, wasn't it, that quarterfinal? But I just felt like we were going to win. I think we all thought we were going to win because they'd taken their biggest threats off. We still had Barry and we had some good subs left. So we always knew we were going to get another chance, didn't we, Jack?
Yeah, definitely. I kind of had the good feeling. I knew they were done in, like, I think from about, the 70th of 80th minute, they were done.
We were fit as well with them lone boys.
Yeah.
They were proper fit, weren't they?
Yeah.
Like Scotty I's GPS stats every week were just ridiculous. So you always knew. Yeah, he was a joke. So you always knew he was just going to keep going, and Nathan's. And so I think that helped us as well. Having those full-time loan boys definitely helped us because we just never ran out of legs, didn't we? And then
they didn't do us. They didn't harm us after that at all. I don't think. Maybe I think they had one shot to slash went across goal, but it wasn't really ever going in. But I don't think they really had a chance.
You think there's one chance in extra time after we'd scored.
Was it the header?
Yeah, it was right. It was at the back post, I think I remember, and it actually should have scored. But it's actually the only time in the last, whole extra time, and that last 20 minutes of the game, I felt was, as I say, didn't threaten at all. It really didn't. But yeah, obviously, like I say, Dakari coming on as well. I know we spoke about it, but you'd know as a centre half if you've got a bloody absolute rapid striker coming on.
I ain't at the best of times, let alone if he's coming on when I'm.
You wouldn't want to race him in the first 30 seconds of the game, let alone like 15th minute, because he is rapid, isn't he?
Yeah,
he was obviously completely fresh, and he'd done the same thing at Slough, hadn't he? Scopes had done the same thing at Slough.
Oh, yeah, he was there. He was a joke when he come against Slough, like tore him apart.
Key moments. There's key moments in the run, and it suits his game, didn't it? He coming on against tiring defenders, and just the way he took the finish and first time finish. Probably, I think it may have been his first touch. To be honest, is that early on in the season? What's that?
Right-footed as well.
Yeah, right-footed.
We thought that was just a standing on.
Yeah.
It was good. And say, I felt confident from the stands going into extra time because of how little they threatened us in the time leading up. And you saw Dakari was fresh. I think we all had that. We had that feeling.
Yeah.
And obviously, you've just backed it up by saying that you felt like he was going to win. So it was good.
As you said, Dakari scored with his first or second touch, and it was a great team goal. Was it one of your favourite of the competition?
One Dobbs.
100%. I don't think I'll ever forget that goal for the rest of my life because the emotions that it gave us and the memories, and I'll probably talk for Jack now. It finished the best football evening I've ever had. It was just awesome.
It was incredible. I'll say you just got to look at the reaction behind the goal. Everyone just run and bundled in, and obviously pre-COVID, just before COVID really kicked off, and it was brilliant. It was an absolute brilliant feeling to have all the players were coming in, and you knew how big a moment it was. I think
we also knew that I couldn't see them scoring, so sort of knew that was we might get another one. I think that was probably what we were thinking on the bench, that we couldn't see them scoring and we might score again. So we almost sort of thought that was going to be the goal to put us through.
Yeah,
I think mine. Other than one roast his head, come off his shoulder, didn't it? His goal against Bath. It's a bullet, but it's off his shoulder. But no, I think Noobs' goal went to win it against Bath. I know it maybe wasn't as big because obviously the round it is in, but to beat them, no one was expecting it really, were they? Against Bath, like that goal was big. That was a big goal because they was all kicking off at the time, and they with their bench, and that was a big goal for me.
Yeah. So you had for me, it was Dakari's goal, and it was Noobs'. It was quite similar as well in the way that a midfielder broke the play. Another midfielder got the ball and set up the striker / winger. He's carbon copies pretty much, apart from the distance travel. Yeah, in that Bath game, Blanche's through ball was superb, and again, you had Scotty High's literally inch perfect ball, wasn't it? Inch perfect ball through. I can replay it in my head now, like step for step. It's such a good goal. So yeah, it's definitely two of the best goals you can have, really.
The pitch invasion, the motion at full-time whistle, best feeling?
Yeah, best feeling I've ever experienced in football, hands down, and the best I probably will ever experience, other than going to Wembley. But yeah, I can't put into words my emotions after that game. I think with Dobbs, if Dobbs had to cry, I had to give him a tissue. I think at one point.
I think because, and we spoke about it earlier, I think it was because we knew we were a good team and we knew we would we did beat them, but we would have beaten Aldo in over 2 legs. So I think we knew that we just won our semi-final.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I was just, you've got to think different from me, I think, because obviously when Scopes and myself and Mitch and that took over at the start of the season, we had one player. So to put together a team that had achieved that, like, I don't think I'll feel as proud as that ever. Because, teams at the start of the season, people, I had loads of messages on my phone. I wish I'd have kept them really. Like, what are you doing? You don't know what you're doing. You're going to get hammered. We lost the Bowers. People were having a go at me then. Like, you're clowns and you're going to get hammered. So to achieve that with that group was just phenomenal. Because people forget we had one player. One player.
And you had a very high retention rate, Drury, as well. That's one thing you got to remember. That group, quite a lot of them players that played in that Bowers friendly played that night.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
And management could have folded at that point and gone, right, we need to change this up. We need to do something different. But you stuck at it. You believed in it. Like Jack said, the way Scopes is with the players, he makes you believe something. He makes you believe in the project. And that is testament to everyone that you've gone from losing 5-0 at Bowers and Pitsy to being one game from Wembley, from that squad. I know we topped up with loanees, but that's going to happen over the course of a season. And the core of your squad played at Bowers.
Yeah.
And we would have, I mean, maybe but we were the pride of Essex at that point. We had everyone in Essex was rooting for us to get to the final, weren't they? That because everyone else was knocked out, we would have talked of Essex. And also, what's more going for me, I was saying to Ant the other day, we sort of captured the imagination of like the locals, and our crowds were getting bigger. I don't know what they would say at night, back on it. So
I think about 1,000 that night on a Tuesday night.
And
1,000 Tuesday night. Right?
And when you've got all of them people running on the pitch, I mean, it's unbelievable moments.
Oh yeah.
In the change room afterwards, I mean, like the euphoria was just, it's incredible.
Some of them pictures you got, there's a few of you, Jack, a few of Hagee, there's a few of some of the pictures are incredible. And that you can see the emotion and the joy in people's faces. Obviously, you can see when Jack Jr. fell over the barrier, he's saying to remember when we was all in the huddle and stuff like that. That is what football was about. And we had a few of them, but that was the one. That was probably the one pitch invasion, the one bit of emotion that topped it all off, didn't it? That was that was your moment. And I'll sit here and admit, once everyone had got in, me and Jack Jr. were standing on the side at the entrance of the pitch, and we both had a moment just standing there, just realising what had happened. With one game away from the home of football.
I think that emotion was good, and I'm gutted about the fans at Wembley, but I think when we walk out of that tunnel at Wembley and we just see the stadium and what we've done, I think that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, you'll go back to that night at Royston for me. You will go back to that night at Royston where I know we had paid Hales, and you've got to respect that. But I think that is the night that we thought we could genuinely be there by the time we thought a few weeks' time. But here we are. 14 months later.
I said to Scopes this morning, it's just sinking in now that we're going to go to Wembley Monday week. We've been so busy with prep. And, the problem we've still got is we're still trying to organise for next season as well. So we're still talking to players, we're still arranging pre-season. We've obviously got this and just arranging everything around the final. But I'd say now it's just starting to. We're actually going to Wembley Monday week. You still have to teach yourself to. That's what we're doing. Jack will be the same. When we set out on our careers in football, we never ever would have dreamt when we were at Abridge, Jack. We like trying to stay up in the season.
Was
No one would have said to you we'd be at Wembley in like 6-7 years. We'd have laughed our heads off.
I thought Exeter would have been probably the highlight of my career, you know, and then now we're doing this. It's mad.
It's another level, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, mate.
You know, live on the telly as well, so you're always going to have that memory. It's not going to be like when my old man played and it was on like cine film and you had to get it out of the loft and the quality was crap. It's going to be live on BT Sport. You're going to have it forever, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely.
What are your top 3 games of the competition so far?
Jack, you go first.
I'd go, yes. Or I didn't play in the Bath game, so I'll go Bath away just for the fact it was a massive game and I don't think anyone thought we'd win it. Roy, obviously, and then I'd go second. I'd probably go Slough, and then obviously the first would be Royston, easy. But yeah,
That's a real tough question because they all had their moments, didn't they? But I think I would say Bath away, Leamington, Royston. I think Leamington because we won on pens.
Yeah, I forgot about Leamington, to be fair. Yeah.
And when you win on pens, and I've obviously been on the other side of that when we lost to Stevenage, and I knew how devastated we felt when we won on pens against Leamington. We knew they were a real good team, and that's a real humdinger of a game. Yeah, that's what I think. Bath away, Leamington, and Royston. I don't think anything will ever top Royston unless we beat Harrogate.